Hi, Daniel.
Shall we go for a ride?
Yeah, let's go ride.
This is Curtis Inglis, Framebuilder of Retrotec and Inglis Cycles. In my opinion, he is the quintessential American frame builder, known for perfecting the American beach cruiser. Curtis has been building bikes for over 30 years. Today, we get to pick his brain and learn his secrets to creating his signature, swoopy, and bubbly aesthetics.
This is the Retrotec headquarters.
The one with the pillars?
Yeah, the pillars one, yeah.
Nice. Where are we at?
We're in Napa, California in Skyline Park.
You old guys keep beating me up. You're super fit. You're dropping on the descents too. What's the secret?
Maybe we've been doing it a little longer.
Yeah.
I feel super fortunate to do this long and not ever never get to the point where I didn't want to ride my bike.
So now we get to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, gosh. Quickly, out of high school, joined the service, learned how to be a TIG welder. I saw the first Retrotec at a bike race. Bob Seals had started the company about a year before that.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the design. Bob might have an exact date. I started in '94. I know it had been around for at least a year.
Yeah.
It was mainly a vehicle for Cool Tool. Cool Tool was his main moneymaker.
Yeah.
Which was the first multi-tool, right? And so he wanted something that really caught people's eye. When you go to a bike race, he just wanted to stick out of the crowd to promote Cool Tools.
What was it about Retrotec that appealed to you?
I have two brothers. All of our bikes were, Schwinn Stingrays.
Right.
Growing up, I don't know. It almost looks like the underdog. Fun to see people out riding a cruiser with doing the exact same things on a bike that's not supposed to do that. And then when I moved to San Francisco, I brought the business with me.
Yeah. Describe that transition a little bit.
I had a bunch of friends that were living down there.
Yeah.
I had become friends with the C-Sips. They were in Fremont and I was in Chico, and we both wanted to move to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So we found a live workspace that we could all live upstairs and have the two shops.
And this was
downstairs.
your late 20s around this?
Yeah, it was great. And we lived south of Market.
Yeah.
We ate cheap food, went and rode in the headlands. It was great. It was pretty good. It was cold.
Yeah.
Never turned the heat on.
Okay. Couldn't afford it? Or
Yeah, we couldn't.
Got tired of living in bachelor life? Or your wife got tired of you living in bachelor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got married, wanted to move back to Napa, so set up a shop here, and more you just keep growing Retrotec to the point where you could do it full time. And I never wanted this I never wanted to find that the plateau, right? Or I never wanted to find the peak. I just wanted to grow a little bit.
To be around for 30 years, to have the same mission, same aesthetic, quite impressive. Very few people can do that.
I'm just a small little guy in the big bike industry.
I think. Let me think. I'm trying to phrase it in a way that's not offensive to you. Yeah. But you're gonna stop building bikes eventually, right?
Eventually.
So there's really only a finite amount of Retrotecs that will be built in the future.
It's weird to have more time behind you in your career than in front, right?
Yeah.
I want to do this for 10 more years,
Yeah.
and I think that would be super fun. If I only make this many bikes over the next 10 years, that's cool.
Yeah. All right. So you guys hear that? Limited amount. From now on, every Retrotec limited edition, one of 500 maybe.
Yeah.
Probably less. Let's just say one of 200.
Yeah. I did my 30th anniversary here. Who knows? It'll be really cool if I make it to 40.
Yeah.
But you just never know. Yeah. But it'd be rad if I did.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's see. Lunch, shop tour.
Lunch. Let's do it.
Yeah. Cool.
This video is sponsored by Curtis trying to explain all his different models.
Retrotec half. Single top tube with a straight down tube. And curved seat stays as well. This is the entry level. No. This is the starting point. See, this isn't though, right? These are great bikes.
This is the entry point to the Retrotec universe. Get yourself a Retrotec, you get yourself a single.
What a pain. Then there's the double. So the double is a single top tube with an extra tube that could either be curved or straight. Then there's the Retrotec twin. Two side-by-side top tubes that flow into the seat stays. I would say that's the one you get the most bang for your buck. It has like that old, you know, it has the cruiser look with the curves. The twin top tube has like torquers from like, you know, the 80s. Retrotec triple. Twin top tubes with a third tube. This tube could be either straight or curved depending on what the customer wants. And then after that, there's the classic. And this is the bike that we started it all off. We've been making this since 1994. If I have to build like 3 or 4 of these in a row, I get overwhelmed because they take so much time, but I love the look of them. So this is 1992 or so, and this is 2024.
Thanks, Curtis. And now a shop tour.
Welcome to Retrotec and Inglis Cycles. Here it is. All right. Humongous. So the start is the fixture. So I have a drawing, set up the fixture, and then start cutting tubes. So I usually start with the backbone of the bike. So the seat tube, down tube, and chain stays are in. And then what I'm trying to do is get a good aesthetic for the seat stays and top tubes. And so you're trying to get all those to play nice together. But you have the backbone of the bike is already like in the frame, and you can see what it looks like. Right. And then you build up from there. I'm trying to get a nice arc between the dropouts, the seat tube, and the head tube. And so I'll roll that top tube until it starts to like make a good arc between those 3 things. And you know, if it's a taller bike, it's going to be a more bubbly bike. If it's a smaller bike, the arcs are going to be a little bit less. They're going to be more flat. So it just depends on the size of the person and the size of the bike, and that determines like what the overall shape is going to look like. So most of my materials are over in these. So I different, you know, by size and different wall thickness. So, and then like all small stuff is up here. So brazons and all that sort of stuff is categorized. I do most of all the rolling on this. I have rollers from 1/2 inch up to 2 inch, and most of the increments. So just depending on what I'm building.
How much did it cost?
It was $4 grand or something. But that was the most expensive piece of machinery at that time that I'd ever bought. More than a few of my cars, yeah. But it paid its, you know, I had a job that I needed to do. I was doing a job for another company. They made juice blenders, and they wanted the backbone of the blender to have this curve.
I've seen those.
And so I made them. Yeah. And so like, I would say half this machine was paid off in the first job. And then I have another anvil, or a couple anvils that I use. So I've got this one, and this is mainly used for the second bend of on certain mountain bikes. You know, I roll the seat stay on this machine, and I get the arc to where I want it, where that flows with this top tube. And then I actually put it in the second bender, and I get this bend which is at 90 degrees to the first, so that you can get more tire clearance.
Yeah, most people don't appreciate how difficult it is to get that, both a curve and a bend, and clear the tires and touch the dropout and everything.
Yeah.
I can do it in CAD, but how do you do that in real life, right?
And I can't do it in CAD, but I can do it in real life.
Yeah.
So I do most of all my front triangle mitering on this little tabletop mill. This fixture is really easily adjusted for whatever angle. Holds in multiple different shapes, tubes. I can put some little bumpers in there so it deals with curves better.
I think this is actually a pretty unique setup. From what I've seen with frame builders, a lot of people use a horizontal and a main tube miter, but
because they're fancy. This setup came from Paul Sadoff. Paul Sadoff gave this setup to Jeremy Cesip, and I got it from Jeremy Cesip. And we have probably hundreds of other builders that you haven't seen. This is the one you hide because it's not cool looking, right? Like a big, you know, mills are cool.
Yeah.
This is a little, you know, but it does an amazing job.
Yeah.
And like this is, you know, my main mill. But I usually just do like bridges and small stuff, like actual tube, you know, mitering, but it's usually like making fixtures or that sort of stuff. Yeah. So I can set that up. And then this is my little hard inch horizontal. I mainly do chain stays on this. And then I also do fork blades, depending on what I'm working on. I got this from Oscar Camarena. And when we brought it back here, we dropped it off the back of the truck, and nobody got hurt. And it didn't get damaged, but
how did it fall?
We had it on a cherry picker, and the cherry picker broke. So
that's funny.
But it made it. And then alignment table. which, you know, each bike gets put on this a couple different times during the process to make sure that we're still in the zone that we want to be. So yeah, welding setup is just over here on this table, or so on this table, or I put it in a bike stand so I can move it around a little bit more. I prefer to build a complete bike all in one shot, having the seat stays in and everything. There are plenty of times that like I'll have a bike tacked up, and in my mind there must be something bothering me because it takes me forever to get to the next stage, and it's just that I'm not happy with the curves, and I usually have to break the tacks and give it a little bit more, or give it a little better look. The whole frame is TIG welded. Then I add all the braze-ons. This section of all the bikes get brazed just because I like the look of it in the end product. I usually try to finish one bike a week, and that usually ends up being three bikes a month. There's usually a week that, you know, either packing bikes to go to paint or back, or building complete assemblies. Yeah. So if I don't have anything else going on, I could do 4, but the reality is that it's closer to 3.
And how many hours per
I have no idea. A lot.
It seems like it.
I'd say the curves add, you know, quite a bit to it. When I get to do an Inglis, they're quite a bit quicker.
How much more do you charge for the curves versus the straight tubes?
They're all the same.
They're all the same price?
Yep.
Why would you even get a straight one?
Some people like straight tube bikes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, and I don't have any differentiation between, like, say that bike, which is the triple, and this bike is the classic. This takes me quite a bit longer, but I don't mind doing a couple hours of work just because I like the look of them and I enjoy the overall aesthetics. I always thought it would be too hard to like have like 18 different, you know, price points, right? I just figured some bikes are a little quicker and I make more money on those, and some bikes are a little bit longer and I make a little bit less. And
now Curtis is going to show us the secrets to his signature top tubes and down tubes. This is for subscribers only, so if you're not subscribed, close the video. Or, you know, just subscribe.
So I'm just setting it up for the right diameter. Straight piece of tubing. And so like, so see how we're, you know, that's a nice look there, right? But like it doesn't hit your dropouts yet. So I want to have a little more curve. It's all visual. Yeah, so like you're trying to hit somewhere in this section of the insert, and then you're, you know, the spot you want on the top tube, and you're just going to keep moving until you get to those 3 spots. You're looking for that angle to be horizontal with the plane of the bike, right, as it's sitting. So you're just going to keep rolling it until you get to that point. These 2 arcs are totally different, correct? But like you can make them blend really nicely. Like on this bike, this curve starts off shallower and gets tighter up here. What I'm trying to do is make this negative space look really, like it just looks like there should be a bag in there already, right? Just has a really pretty look.
So how do you vary the radius? Do you just finesse it on this machine?
Totally. Say we're like right around here, I want to like tighten up this, give it more radius in the end, right? Yeah. Shoot for this thing, I'll see that it's coming in, and then right when it gets to this point, I can screw it in a few more, and it'll start to tighten in this. So this first section will have a continuous arc, and then right around in that where you put the mark, now it's getting tighter. So before I learned how to make this S-bend down tube, we used to have a place in a company down in LA would do these for us. And so they were basically a straight section with a bend, another straight section, you know, curved, and then a straight section. So it worked. It did what it needed to. But then when I learned how to do it on my roller, the down tube has a much more smooth look to it. Want me to show you really quick?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So then, I'm going to roll to that each time.
Little by little.
And you want to leave it in the machine, right? Because right now you could get it uncocked. Give it another roll. And then as this thing hits this, I'm going to back off on it so that I don't get the little dimple. And so here it comes. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And then you go. And then you stop. And then it's just right on the money on that.
Wow.
And then you start the other direction, and then you give it more. So far, getting it to a point where you like the look of it, right? There you have it.
A quick break while Curtis plays with his new toy. Make sure you like and subscribe the video.
Look at that, it's like an egg. It's like beautiful round shape. We are sitting in our 1966 Wolseley Hornet that I've owned since 1989. I imported this car after being stationed in England to Texas and then now to California.
Nice.
And then my dad and I 10 years ago restored it, and then now it's fully restored and we drive it all over the place.
Yeah, I guess that was the last time we hung out together was at Made. And I asked you the question about you being the quintessential American frame builder, and you denied it. But I have some more thoughts, and I want to... So, one, you served in the Air Force, which is a very American thing to do, right?
Yes.
Two, you're famous for the Cruiser, which is the American bike design. That's what we came out with.
All right.
Fat and lazy bike.
Yes. Perfect.
And I think the third most important thing is you've been around for 30 years. And so you can't claim to be quintessential if you've been around for 2 years or 5 years. I think for those three reasons, I think you are the quintessential American frame builder. Will you accept it?
I accept that you feel that way. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever say it out of my own.
Right.
It's just not my nature to walk around saying I've done it a long time. Yeah. I make a very American, bicycle or style bike.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. All right. You heard it. Quintessential American.
Yeah.
But not from him, from me, which doesn't mean anything. I feel like you've really perfected it. Like having seen your workshop and how you do the tubes, even for me, I nerd out and learn a lot about bikes. I didn't think about a lot of things you do to get all those curves. And it's really cool to me seeing you do it by hand and by eye. And it's a very visual, hands-on experience to build one of your bikes.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's the only time that, like when people go on and on about like, I'm an artist and I'm in my studio and they go on and on. The only time that I feel like that applies to me is when I'm trying to make sure the aesthetics of each bike looks correct. And the rest of it is just mechanics, right? It's cutting tubes, it's welding tubes, it's making sure that everything's aligned, getting everything done correctly. It's mechanical.
Yeah.
But on the Retrotecs, there's this, there's a couple hours of making sure they look correct.
Yeah. Do you consider what you do art or craftsmanship?
Just craftsmanship.
Or, really? You don't think of it as art?
Yeah, for this much of if this is the bike building process, this much is the art, and the rest of it is just it's mechanical, I have a shop, and I work in my shop, and I enjoy what I do. I try to make an aesthetically pleasing bicycle that looks different than things that have come before it.
Sounds like art to me.
Well, whatever.
What's going on at Retrotec HQ?
Well, I just got those two bikes back from paint, so those are getting prepped and going to be sent out. We're getting ready to do another tie run, so we'll do tie bikes in January. So I'm working on getting a couple more orders for that.
Yeah.
And that way I'll have I'm trying to do 5 or 6 bikes per batch.
You're past the halfway point, right? And the cool thing and scary thing to me is that there's only going to be a limited amount of Retrotecs being made in the future, right? Or being made by you.
Right. Yeah. A few hundred more. So order up.
Yeah. Yeah, even just 300, right? Like 300 in a big bike company is like 3 months of orders, right? But for you, let's say if you make 400, that's 10 years of work, but there's only 400, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever think about that?
Yeah. I mean, you want to... I've spent 31 years doing this, and I want to do another 10 years. You want to go out like on top, doing exactly what you want to do. Like I want to still be riding bikes, enjoying them, dreaming up new ways to tweak with geometry, with the new standards that are coming out. There's always something new and fresh.
Well, yeah, anyway, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing me around.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
See you at the next Framebuilder event thingies,
Let's just make it a frame builder event in the headlands.
Yeah.
That sounds more fun.
Or just right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can come out we can do all of Skyline instead of part of it.
Yeah. All right, let's pretend to drive away. Why am I driving?
I'm driving.
All right.
And there you have it. Curtis Inglis, the quintessential American frame builder. According to me.